The meeting of the Planning, Zoning, and Building Committee. Roll call, please.
Alderman Artwoods.
Here.
Alderman Curielli.
Here.
Alderman Carr.
Here.
Alderwoman Fonseca.
Here.
Alderman Fasano. Absent. Alderwoman Ames.
Here.
Alderman Artie Woods.
Here.
And Alderman Catalano.
Here. We have a quorum. Thank you. I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes for July 9th, 2026 for the Planning, Zoning, and Building Committee.
Second.
Any questions, comments, corrections? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. One report tonight, a special use for an animal hospital at 199 South Addison Road, Suite 108. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Do you have any comments, Director Springer?
I do, Chairman. I have a very brief presentation. So the petitioner for this request is Ben Pasulka, and he is here this evening. And also joining him is the veterinarian, Dr. Amanda Reister. She is here as well. And what they are requesting is approval of a special use for an animal hospital. So this is the subject property. It's located at the northeast corner of Addison and Elizabeth, and it's in the office complex known as Brookwood Office Center. The unit that they are interested in is highlighted in orange, and that is Suite 108. The property itself is zoned C1, which is neighborhood commercial, which is appropriate for the use. The site itself is about 3.4 acres. There are 9 office suites in this development, and currently Suite 108 is vacant and has been for some years. It was previously occupied by a different medical use, which is Wooddale Family Medicine. If this is approved and the business moves into this location, that would bring the center to full occupancy. So what is being proposed is basically a discount veterinary surgery center. It's approximately 4,000 square feet in area. They're going to be open 3 days a week to start and may add another day after that. And they estimate that they'll serve about 32 animals per day. And Mr. Pasulka has had an operation similar to this in Joliet for a number of years. Pet drop-off will be staggered in the morning so that all the, pet parents weren't arriving at the same time, between 7:30 and 8:30. And then they'd be released staggered as well in the afternoon so as not to cause any traffic-type backups between 2:30 and 5 o'clock. The parking for the center is sufficient. Based on the 9 tenants that are in the building right now, 120 parking spaces are required, and they are providing 145, so they are compliant in that regard. There was a public hearing held at the CDC. We had 2 public comments. The managing agent and the veterinarian, who's here this evening, spoke in support of the request. And we did receive 1 public comment in writing from the Forest Preserve of DuPage County, and they indicated they had no objections. So on July 20th, the CDC did recommend approval unanimously by a vote of 7-0, and I am happy to answer any questions you might have.
Questions? Alderman Catalano?
Yes, I'll make a motion to approve.
We already have a motion.
Oh, we already have a motion. Where was I?
It's all right. Alderman.
I do have one question regarding the request to have some space for animals to relieve themselves. I know that in the documentation provided, it said that it would be considered. Is it highly being considered, or?
So this is something we had requested from the petitioner, which he did provide either yesterday or today upon our request. And so he's working with the owner or the landlord to put up, he'll have to put up a little fence and little bags for an elimination area. He understands he would need to get a permit for that fence.
Thank you.
Alderman Woods?
So are we making that a requirement of the, or we're on the honor system?
We hadn't suggested, making it a condition. You certainly can. He's indicated he will be moving forward with that, so.
I would think it enhances his business. I mean,
Yes.
it's just going to be a thing. So I was just asking. I wasn't
Okay.
trying to add.
Sure.
I like that.
Other questions? I have one question. Is there access to the clinic from the north parking lot?
There is not. Those parking lots, interestingly, are not connected. So certain units gain access and have parking on the north parking lot, and others have access and to parking on the south side of the property.
Has there been any confusion about access to any of the units there due to the two parking lots?
I think that's maybe a question for the property owner who isn't here this evening, but from my perspective, I've never heard of anything.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Alderman Artwoods,
Yes.
Alderman Currielli,
Yes.
Alderman Carr,
Yes.
Alderwoman Fonseca,
Yes.
Alderwoman Ames,
Yes.
Alderman Artie Woods,
Yes.
and Alderman Catalano.
Yes.
The motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, Director.
Welcome aboard.
Yes. One more meeting they got to go through.
I'm welcome aboard. What, are you going to turn them down at the next meeting? That would be mean.
It's happened. Items to be considered at future meetings. Community Park Design Services, September 10th. Any additions? There being none, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you.
All right, I'd like to call to order the Public Works Committee meeting. Let the minute taker note that the same staff and elected officials are present. I will start off by making a motion to approve the meeting minutes from July 9th, 2026.
Second?
Any comments, questions, corrections? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. We have two items tonight. First, an approval of an agreement between the City of Wooddale and Water Well Solutions Illinois LLC in an amount not to exceed $210,000. Assistant Director Werner.
Yes, so the fiscal year 2027 budget identified funding for the Well 5 rehab, which is located over on Reichert Road. Typically, the well rehabs are done every 7 to 10 years. However, the last rehab that was done for this well was about 15 years ago. So we engaged with Water Well Solutions. They've done projects for us in the city before. They ran the well test and identified some deficiencies for repair. So once we actually schedule the work with them, they'll remove the well casing, kind of figure out if there's anything else that needs to be repaired, and then put forth their recommendation for replacing the well pump, as well as any other deficiencies that they identify at that time. There is funding available in TIF 1 for this project. We can move forward with it.
Okay. Before I open up, I had a couple of questions. Have we ever used these before?
Typically, no. We run them once a month and do samples that are sent to the IEPA, but they are emergency backup wells. So if there's ever a reason that we can't get water from the DuPage Water Commission, we would utilize these in an emergency.
But we've never actually had to use them, I'm guessing? Okay, which is a good thing. I'm not
Yes.
saying it's a, and maybe a dumb question, but could we run off of 2 of them in the future, or is 3 necessary to, is that enough water to get to all of Wooddale? I'm not super familiar. Sorry, I'm not trying to.
When we did the water system master plan, they said that the 3 wells would be able to supply enough pressure throughout the system to maintain current service levels. We didn't have them look at what 2 wells would be able to handle, but we know that with all 3 wells, we're able to feed the system.
Okay, and then the one last question for me, it kind of brought up when we had to help out Elk Grove, I know with water, is that a similar situation since they're in Cook County where if we really did need that, they could return the favor, or is this a whole separate?
So they operate at a significantly lower pressure than us, so they wouldn't be able to physically move the water into our system. So we could take water from Bensonville and Itasca, but they're both also on DuPage Water
yeah.
Commission. So it wouldn't do us any good if we lose that main feed for some reason.
Any questions? Alderman Currielli? Sorry.
Do the surrounding towns also have maintained wells?
Yes, typically they'll maintain, anywhere from 2 to 4 backup wells, depending on how large the community is.
Thank you.
Alderwoman Ames?
So I was looking on here with the background. It said that the testing inspection found that the well was actively pumping, but not at the depth of the recommended 800 feet. We were at 588. So will this inspection and potential new equipment get them to get to the 800 feet that's required? Or that wasn't addressed in like what the...
Yeah, so the well
Work was.
test just kind of identified how efficiently the well is running, and typically over time, as a well deteriorates, that pumping level will decrease. So the repairs that they would make with this well test that they conducted, as well as the report that we received this week, kind of identified the work that they'll do to get to that depth. So they'll remove the well casing, get to the desired depth, potentially replace the pump, and then that would get us back to the desired pumping rate.
Okay, thank you.
Alderman Woods?
So back to the well, I'm not quite sure, so they're going to increase the depth of the well possibly? Is that what you were saying?
It's more like the pumping rate of the well, like the depth, so trying to figure out like the best way to explain it. So they're not like drilling the depth down into the well, it's just that the pumping rate has decreased significantly because it's not used. So when they replace the parts that are necessary to make sure that the pump is operating properly, that depth will increase per se. So it's not like they're drilling like deeper, it's already a pretty deep well, it's just the pumping rate isn't to the rate that it should be.
Okay.
Does that kind of help?
Yeah, it does. When did we do the study? When did we look at that and determine?
Maybe about 3 weeks ago, they did the initial test, and then.
Not
they got the
on this
report.
pump, but the master plan
Oh.
water that determined that the 3 pumps would be able to carry the city.
I believe that was back in 2020, 2021,
Okay.
somewhere around there.
And then when they do the test, what I'm trying to get to, because those water levels and some of the things that you were just talking about, all those are variants that change over time. When they test and say, yeah, that's enough, we're pumping enough volume, are they able to say that we'd be able to pump that volume for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, or 2 hours, right? Because we don't know that given what the water levels are too.
Yeah, I don't think we've looked at it for that duration. The static water level hasn't changed really since they drilled the well, which is good, so that underground aquifer isn't depleting at all, really. But as far as how long we can produce at max capacity, I don't think we have that information right now. We can look to, I think we would have to do some more tests on the wells to get that information, but that's something we could look to.
And then is there any IPEA, not IPA, that's a different thing, rules or regulations that say that we have to keep the wells?
No, you have to have some type of emergency backup. So there's different forms for that. There's obviously interconnects with other communities. There's reserve storage that you can go off of. But again, if we lose our main feed from DuPage Water Commission, the emergency backup wells are really our only option.
Right. And has anybody ever calculated the likelihood or statistically the viability of that ever breaking down, and for how long?
Not that I'm aware of, but we have had a few instances within the last year where we had to rely on our reserve capacity for a day or half a day or something. It hasn't
Gotcha.
gone longer
So the
than that,
towers
but-
and the tanks.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. I'm just getting to, because as time goes on, these are costs, and just trying to determine their viability, and do we really need to spend?
Yeah, we had looked at that back when we did the original study, if it was worth maintaining these wells. The cost is drilling a new well, so now that we already have the 3 wells, it's relatively low maintenance over the life of them to maintain them. So we
Gotcha.
decided it was beneficial to keep them and make sure that they're ready if and when we ever need to use them.
Got it. Thank you.
Alderwoman Fonseca?
You mentioned that the wells are evaluated normally about every 10 years or so, 8 to 10 years, and this one wasn't done for 15 years. Is there any reason why we waited 15 years?
I guess it was more just when we were planning out with the capital plan, this was kind of just identified as one of those things that, wasn't done within the recommended, standard practice recommended time period. So now I think we did one of the wells 2 years ago, and so now we're kind of just trying to get, the remaining operational deficiencies that, trying to figure out where we can budget for them and move forward with making sure we get them on that proper timeline.
Because Layla and I were
I was going
Makes
to
sense.
say that, but I didn't. I wasn't going to include you, Alan. I was going to say that's because Layla wasn't here.
myself in there.
Alderman Catalano?
Do we have adequate security in those locations as far as the cyber attacks? Or, I'm sure you heard around the country what's going on with our water treatment plants. And
Yeah, so that's something that we're currently working on. I know Brett and Director Stenson and I and Alan, we've all worked together, kind of identified the different water stations that do have, potential security breaches. Luckily, we're in a pretty good spot with all of that. We've upgraded, I think, 100,000 PLCs throughout all of our different facilities. And then Concentric, which is the contractor that we work with to upgrade all of our security features in the water and wastewater plants. They're working with us to do a lot of upgrades and fix those patches to make sure that, we are secure. So we are pretty secure right now. Everything is as up to date as it possibly can be. And then we're identifying, other places where we need to continue those upgrades.
Thank you.
Any other follow-up? So I guess for either Director Lang or Manager Murmas, would it make sense, I know we're asking for the potential of 210,000, but could we do something tonight and approve the up to, in an amount not to exceed 70,000 and see where we're at once? Would that make sense? I know it's coming out of TIF funds, but I'm sure we have other things we can use that for too.
Yeah, we did it this way just to potentially avoid having to come back.
Right. I don't know how time sensitive.
If you'd rather just approve the pulling the well and inspecting it for the 70,000, and then once we have that report, we come back again, possibly direct the council for whatever rehabilitation is needed, we could do it that way also.
Does anyone else have any thought? Alderman Carr?
We're pulling the well and getting a whole nother price together. Will that go on and change the overall total cost then? Instead of 210 overall, would it go on and say, well, now it's 300 because more stuff is bad, or is this 210 the locked-in figure?
Go ahead.
Yeah. I believe in the report there were two different costs that they identified. So the 210 was kind of the low end of if they potentially had to replace the pump, and then I think it was like up to 430, depending on, once they pull the casing, the well casing, and get in there and figure out what's going on. So it could, that was like worst case scenario though. So the 210 was kind of the middle ground that they had recommended would be the likely cost of any repairs that need to be made.
I think that includes the
Follow-up?
Yeah, and that did include, I apologize, that did include the initial $68,000 for just pulling the well and doing the initial tests and everything. So it was the 210 includes that cost as well.
Go ahead, follow up.
Okay, and then one more thing, the DuPage water that we get our water from, how old is that main? It's gotta be, is it trustworthy? Is it?
We went on to DuPage Water in 1993, I believe, and I think that's how old the main is. We have 2 feeds, which is nice, so if one feed goes down, we can feed the town off of the other end, and then we have interconnects with Bensonville and Itasca, who both get water from DWC as well. So, 1993 in the grand scheme of things is not that old, so it's in relatively good shape.
Any other follow-up? So the 68,201 is saying it's an estimated cost, so if we did want to proceed with, is 70 enough of a cushion? Should we make it 80 to be safe on that part, and then just come back for the potential of up to 400,000?
Well, I think the 68,000 is the known cost.
That is, okay, it's that estimated cost, so I didn't know if that's...
Yeah, I would think if we did 70,
Okay.
that would be safe, just,
So I'll make a motion to move forward with the 70,000 for Phase 1 and Phase 3, and then come back for anything potentially.
Second.
Any other questions on this one? Roll call, please.
Alderman Art Woods.
Yes.
Alderman Currielli.
Yes.
Alderman Carr.
Yes.
Alderwoman Fonseca.
Yes.
Alderwoman Ames.
Yes.
Alderman Artie-Woods.
Yes.
And Alderman Catalano.
Yes.
And that passes. And finally, the rear yard drainage program updates. Assistant Director Werner.
Yes, so annually, the city budgets $20,000 for rear yard drainage projects, and this is for residents who see nuisance flooding in their front or backyard. Residents can qualify up to a $10,000 reimbursement with the new, the new application that was recently amended for this program. With the significant and unprecedented amount of rain we've seen this summer, we've had a lot of interest in the program. So currently, 2 applications have been completed. One of those applications, though, was a carryover from the previous fiscal year, so really only one project has been taken out of this current fiscal year budget. So there's about $12,000 remaining for any other rear yard drainage projects. Currently, we have about 5 to 6 open applications. The stormwater engineer has gone out, identified what improvements need to be made for the resident, and then I'm working with the residents currently to get them with the permit process to actually move forward with the project. So we are anticipating, about those 5 to 6 projects being completed. We haven't really had any additional interest since the significant storm events that we've seen, so we believe that the $50,000 budget reallocation would be beneficial or be, enough for the projects that are remaining.
I thought when we changed from 3,000, which was the old one, right, up to 10,000, I thought we did up the budget at that time. Did we not? We kept it at 20,000?
Yeah, no, it was kept at 20,000 from this last capital plan.
Okay.
I think we discussed potentially coming to council and
Got it.
getting the increase at a later date if we had an increase.
And I love the program, and I was one of the champions of raising it, so I'm all for it. My only concern in reading it was that at 50,000, if we already have that in the pipeline, now we're waiting till, what, June, if anyone else comes forward and they're all maxed out at the 10,000, we're going to have to come back again, basically, right?
Yeah.
Alderwoman Fonseca, sorry.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with that as well. I think this is great to go ahead and give this opportunity to our residents. Those 5 that you mentioned, do you recall where those are located?
They're
Which
kind of all
ward?
over town. It's
They're
not
all
really
over.
necessarily a specific area. I don't know if you know specific addresses, but they're all kind of scattered all around town.
Okay, because there has been several problem areas for years, actually.
I know Director Wilson's not here, but maybe Manager Murmas, do we have room to maybe increase it more? I know 50,000 was okay, but and coming back again, or telling someone they got to wait till July if they apply would be a bad look. Manager Murmas?
Yeah, sure. Typically, what we've done in the past, I know from year to year, we have different programs for our residents to become more popular all of a sudden.
Right.
If you remember, we had the generator program where we budgeted a certain amount, then one year it was the skunk program. So we did talk to Director Wilson, for sure we did. He was comfortable with the 50.
Okay.
I'd have to go back and check with him, but it's not out of the norm for residential programs like this to come back a couple times, just as interest ticks up.
Makes sense. Alderman Woods? Oh, sorry. Alderman Woods? Alderwoman Ames? Ladies first.
Just curious, over the past few years, you said there hasn't really been much interest. Have we spent anywhere close to the 20,000 that was budgeted? Do you recall, maybe for
I
the
know
past
that there
couple years?
were, this last, so last year there was only the 1 application, but I know in previous years it was anywhere from 3 to 5. And then I know maybe, was it 5 years ago? I think there was a lot of properties that were, that participated in the program, I think 6 years ago, 5, 6 years ago. That was when we had the most interest, and then it's kind of dwindled since then. But again, I think, just with the unprecedented rain we've had, it's kind of brought up some of these issues.
Okay, thank you.
Alderman Woods?
Yeah, doing some of the history, when it was the 3,000, a lot of people would check into it and then not do it because the 3,000 really didn't do anything. That was the precipice for raising it or increasing it to the 10,000, and that renewed the interest and made it then make economic sense for the residents, and as those people get their projects done and they tell 2 people and they tell 2 people, I think that we'll be getting more requests. So since we don't have Brad here, I won't try to raise the amount. I'll keep the city manager happy and stay with the 50, but knowing that we'll probably have to come back.
Manager Murmas?
The good news, too, is right around the corner, we're going to start budget prep internally, so we'll know probably to increase the amount next
Yeah,
year.
we'll just have to go to one of those magic pots that we always come up with.
Brad's got those everywhere.
Yeah, they're all over, yeah.
Okay, so for tonight, I'll go with the staff recommended motion of funding the fiscal year 2027 rear yard drainage program in an amount not to exceed $50,000 additional dollars.
Second.
Any other comments, questions on this one? Okay, roll call, please.
Alderman Artwoods,
Yes.
Alderman Currielli,
Yes.
Alderman Carr,
Yes.
Alderwoman Fonseca,
Yes.
Alderwoman Ames,
Yes.
Alderman Artie Woods,
Yes.
and Alderman Catalano.
Yes.
And that passes. Items to be considered at future meetings, vehicle replacement procedure on September 24th, SCADA upgrades on September or October. Does anyone have anything they would like to add? Seeing none, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned.